Hello, everyone. Next, I will explain the data functions of the dispenser. If you need to use the statistics function, set the time first. Press the set key at the number you want to change. After the cursor blinks, use the up and down keys to adjust the value. Press the set key again to complete the modification. The second necessary step is to measure the pump's flow rate. We need to prepare a measuring cup in advance. First, go to the flow option in the settings interface. Click Set to enter the interface. The time displayed is the running time of the pump during the flow measurement. The longer this time, the higher the accuracy of the measurement. Then this timer shows the countdown displayed when starting the measurement. This milliliters per second and second per milliliter on the right are the data automatically calculated after the measurement. Here, P1 indicates which pump you are measuring. P1 is the detergent pump. P2 is the rinse aid pump. Now, let me demonstrate the measurement process. First, set the time, confirm by pressing the set key. Before measuring, place the suction tube into the measuring cup and make sure to expel the air from the tube. Press the set key to start the pump. When the tube is filled with liquid and all the air is expelled, you can end it. Press the set key again to do so. After expelling the air, we can start measuring the pump flow rate. We go to the Start option, press the set key to start measuring. You can see here on the right it is counting down. After the countdown ends, the measurement will stop. Then we enter the measured value into the actual output. For example, my actual output is 301 milliliters. Adjust and confirm by pressing the set key. Remember, no matter how large the value entered, always set the third place last. Go to the third position, enter the value, and press confirm to finish. You can see the consumption rate has been automatically calculated above. After measuring the detergent pump, follow the same steps to measure the rinse aid pump. That completes the full pump flow measurement process. We return to the main interface. The third step after installing the machine is to enter the content in the third data option of the main interface, which are the barrel capacity and the price per barrel. Barrel capacity, as the name suggests, is how many liters per barrel of your chemicals, and the price per barrel is how much you paid per barrel. After entering these two items, the first and second data items will rely on them to calculate the correct costs and other data for you. After setting the clock, flow, and barrel costs, the data functions of our dispenser can be used normally. Then, let me introduce each data interface of the main interface. First, we can switch between three options using the top left key. Let me start with the first option. Press the set key to enter. This interface has no modifiable content. It displays daily chemical consumption and remaining amounts and automatically calculates the cost price. First, the left column is the data for the detergent pump, and the right column is the data for the rinse aid pump. Then the two above, today's S and today's L, indicate how many seconds the pumps ran today and how many liters of chemicals were consumed. Below that, the daily average barrel is the average number of barrels consumed per day from the start of last month to today. The last item, remaining barrels, is the current number of remaining barrels. Let me introduce the next page. This available days is automatically calculated by the system to indicate how many days the remaining chemicals can last. Then, this month's price shows how much was spent on the detergent pump and the rinse aid pump respectively. Below, the total price is how much was spent on both pumps this month. Then let me introduce the second interface. The second interface is our delivery record. Every time a chemical supplier delivers chemicals, enter the number of barrels delivered right away into the delivery option on this interface. Enter here, for example, if 90 barrels were delivered, enter 90 barrels here. Then if 10 barrels of rinse aid were delivered, enter 10 on the rinse aid side. We went back to the main interface, once again returned to the second data interface. The data here will be updated. Then this remaining barrels is what we use for calibration. Because there might be some variation in the actual capacity of each barrel, over time this discrepancy could accumulate to a difference of 1 or 2 barrels. At this time, you need to re-enter the current number of remaining barrels in this remaining barrels option. This makes other data calculations relatively much more accurate. Press the bottom right key to enter the second page. First, there's this before and after MLS. This after MLS is an average value based on the number of seconds run and the volume used from the first data option. Then when you calibrate the remaining barrels, a new MLS will be updated. At this time, the previous after MLS will jump to before MLS, and the newly calculated data will fill the after MLS. Then there's this alarm reminder that we can set. When the remaining chemicals can only last for a certain number of days, an alarm reminder is set. For example, here I set 90 days. When the remaining chemicals are only enough for 90 days of use, he will alarm for a few seconds. And these few seconds are set in this alarm time setting below. All right, that concludes the introduction of the data aspects of the dishwasher dispenser.